milk.
Temperature was in the 20s on the morning of the race. The race was considered extreme cross-country, whatever that meant, and I really didn't know what to expect. My last real distance race was almost 20 years ago in high school. Joining me on the race was Gabriel's brother Anatol, who was a member of the high school cross-country team.
Yeah, there were some guys a few years ago that did it in their Speedos.
Gabriel was going to sit this one out and videotape from the sidelines.
So we're here at the Living History Farms race. It's over 8,000 people, 7-mile race.
We situated ourselves about mid-pack behind the start line, which later turned out to be a mistake.
Alright, so the race has started and we're not moving. That's the way it is.
I also made the mistake of drinking too much water before the race, which would come back to haunt me later. The clock had started and we were still a few hundred yards from the start line.
What are we doing about it? 21-minute pace? Probably. Finally running. Well, I'm going to try to follow Anatol here. Back to walking again.
It had taken 3 minutes just to reach the start line. We weaved in and out of traffic as we tried to pass people.
I lost the Anatol in the crowd.
Passing people became the story of the race. I stayed on the side in the gutter most of the time because it was easier to pass there. I'd made the decision to bring my video camera, which slowed me down. By shooting video and running simultaneously, I was not able to properly swing my arm and I lost running efficiency.
We are at the tunnel. About a mile in.
I made the dumb decision to drink water before the race and was now feeling like my bladder was about to explode. It was so bad that a short while later I had to run off the trail into the trees to pee. That mistake cost me at least a minute and several hundred people repassed me. There were bottlenecks at different points along the trail, usually around the stream crossings and steep hill climbs. I chose to shoot video during this, the first of 7 Frigid stream crossings. Keep in mind I'm navigating this terrain with just one hand while videotaping.
Legs are soaked out of the knee now.
Passing became even tougher in the woods. Here you'll see me attempt to pass on the left, only to be stopped by foliage. As you can see, all my forward momentum was stopped and I was forced to re-accelerate. This happened constantly. It was near here that I had to run back to fetch my dropped water bottle and stop to tie my shoes. Rookie mistakes that were costing me minutes. Here's an example of what I had to do to successfully pass in the woods. Look closely. As I passed people on the side, all of a sudden I had to jump over some logs while simultaneously avoiding castration via an old wood fence. Anatol is crossing the hill on the right. We were constantly having to figure out creative ways in order to get ahead of the crowd. Sometimes it just didn't work out though.
Past the 5-mile mark, I'm going to start pushing it.
I was feeling exceptionally well and really began to increase my speed. I began passing people by the hundreds. My chi running technique really came into play on this downhill, allowing me to use gravity to shoot past people. Most people had developed the 1,000-yard stare at this point, too tired to push themselves. I didn't notice it until later, but do you see the guy in the red shirt passing me? I was still feeling pretty good, so I increased my speed yet again. Unfortunately, it was getting hard to hold the camera steady at this speed with one hand. Anatol finished a few minutes ahead of me. I ran into some people here and had to weave around them. Then suddenly, perfectly, a lane opened up for the final 100-yard sprint. Despite the lack of oxygen to my brain, something in me told me to change the camera angle. The camera was in my left hand and I used my right hand to turn the camera around without dropping it. Remember the guy that passed me earlier? With just a few feet to the finish line, I overtake him. So in the end, despite carrying a video camera, despite losing minutes trapped in the crowd in the beginning, despite the endless back and forth of trying to overtake other runners, and despite stopping to pee, stopping to tie my shoes, and running back against the crowd to get my water bottle, I ended up finishing 910 out of 8,000 runners.